So we're going to switch our focus to the main page next. So this is where you could spend all your time using this plugin if you didn't want to go in and design your own sounds. So as we know, we can choose our 4 layers here and we can work those sounds using the macros, whereas some of the other pages we can go through and make much more finer tuned kind of adjustments. But if you just wanted to use this plugin more as a presets kind of plugin, and then you just wanted to manipulate in a very easy way those presets, you just stay on the main page. Okay, so at the top area here, we have our 4 channels, and we have a volume fader here and a power button to switch each one on and off. And we can also have access to our menu for loading sounds in. So when we click on each word here or each name here, it's going to open up this menu here. Okay, so you can see we have categories here: twisted oscillator, 1 to 4, granular, noises, resynthesized, sound effects, and time traveled. And we can actually just flip and access any of our 4 channels from within any of those windows as well. So let's say we wanted to load Magic Ghost here. There it is loaded in. We can also use these arrows here to move through the list, and we can just quickly kind of roll the dice to randomize things. As you can see there. Now, you may have noticed the sound wasn't kind of going wildly different when I changed that. That's because the randomize actually chooses from the same category. Now, across to the right here, we have some access to the step sequencer parameters. So first of all, we can actually change the length of the step sequence, like so. Now, at the moment, this is all grayed out because the step sequencer is actually switched off. Let's choose a preset here. Go back to the main page. Now let's actually choose a better one because that's a little bit, yeah, that's a bit more interesting. So now from here, we could actually change the length. From within here, and we can also change the sequencer modulation as well. We're going to come into that in much more detail when we look at the sequencer, but just so you know, that's where we can access that. Let's actually switch that off now. Come back to the main page. Then we have this very cool graphic in the middle with this kind of old school VHS player here. Now there are 2 buttons here we can click. That allows us to switch off the animation if you're finding it a little bit kind of distracting. And we have another button here just to stop the animation. So we can keep it as a single kind of frame, or alternatively, we can just switch it off altogether. Now moving across to the left here, we have our sound variations and the micro tuning. Now the micro tuning allows you to select different kind of micro tuning presets here. So you can see we have some different kind of tunings here you can work with. Now, I think for most people, they're going to know exactly what they're looking for if they go in here. But for the majority of uses, you're just going to want to have the default of equal tuning so you can play it as you would do any other instrument. Okay, and then we have the sound variations. So you can think of these as being kind of sub-presets within a preset or within a snapshot, and you can blend between them. So we can either do this by dragging on this little blue thing here, or we could use the mod wheel. So let's play something. So you can hear there the sound changing as I move the mod wheel. So in addition to being able to kind of morph between them, we can also directly click to actually hear the 3 or quickly snap between the 3. Okay, so for these sound variations, what we can do as well, so let's say we've got a new patch here, a bit more of an interesting patch. So let's say we change these faders to have a certain sound here. We can actually lock this using the floppy disk icon. You see when we go back, return to that original volume. Let's say for this one, we wanted to lock it like so. Lock this one from here. So you can go through and manipulate the sound exactly how you want within the sound variation section, lock that, and then you have that set how you desire when you morph through. Now beneath the sound variations, there's a little menu here, which is where we can choose what the mod wheel is going to do. So if we choose any of these other options, that's going to relate to the macro. So now they're going to be controlling the macros, and we can have any combination of that. But you'll notice that when we have ABC Morph switched on and we override that, ABC Morph is overridden essentially. So we can only control any combination of the macros or the ABC Morph, as you can see there. So let's say we wanted to control the filter and the echo with the mod wheel. You can see that there. But we can always flick it back to be ABC Morph if we want as well. And that is the main page. So to recap in this video, we've obviously covered the main page. The first thing is we have access to our 4 channels. We can switch them on and off. We can change the volume. We can move back through the category that we're on. See that there. Or alternatively, we can click on any one of these here and we have access to all the categories and the presets within that. And we can actually jump across to any of our 4 channels from within here as well. We can randomize within the category too. Then across to the right here, we have the ability to change the length of the sequencer and also sequence modulation here. Across to the left here, we have the sound variations, which is where we can morph between 3 different versions or sub presets of each one of our presets essentially. So we can do that by dragging on here or alternatively by using the mod wheel. If you want to set things up as you see fit, we can click directly on here as well, I should say. Yeah, so if we want to set things up in a certain way, you can lock that and then it will start from that point whenever we morph between. Now, how we use the mod wheel can be determined by the mod wheel settings menu here. ABC Morph is the kind of default, but if we wanted to change any of the macros, we can choose any combination of the macros from there, but it will override the ABC Morph. Remember, we have our visual in the middle here, which is really cool. And we can choose to either have that animating or not, or we can switch it off altogether. Now with the macros, obviously, they're pretty self-explanatory really, but we can actually set these up to do certain things. You'll see here, we have kind of a modulation amount that we can change with the macros, but we're going to deal with that in a later video. Okay, so that has covered the main page. In the next video, we're going to jump across and have a look at the mixer. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.